Hello, everyone. How's it going? This is Ben,
This is Luis.
and right now you're hanging with the boys from Limited Editions Comics and Collectibles. The last time we touched on Shadow War, I had my man Diego here, but this time I'm bringing Luis in order to have a different perspective regarding the story. So, it's been a couple of weeks. What has come out so far has been Shadow Wars 1 through 5, and this week it just dropped Shadow Wars,
Shadow Warzone,
Shadow Warzone.
which is it's a little bit of a one-shot, just different stories from throughout the whole event. It's not necessary, but if you want more, you can get it right here.
Sounds good. All right. So, how we do our reviews, we touch on three particular things. First, art. Second, story progression. Third, character development. And I think that we should get started right now. Art, Luis?
Okay, so art is a little bit of a mixer-upper. It's mostly there's three books, right? Because it's a crossover. So each book has its own artist. Batman is mostly taken care of by Howard Porter, who's been around since the 90s, so he's got a bit of a classic look to him. I do like him.
Okay.
There's two other people in the other two books that are a little bit more DC house style, I guess, which, if that's your thing, you get to have some of that. Personally, I think they're all just kind of trying to imitate the same feel, but it doesn't quite land, in my opinion. What do you think?
I would have to agree.
Mhm.
I'm more a Porter fan as well. But I think that just overall, the art has been consistent.
Yeah.
It hasn't been anything that I can frown upon, to be fair. And of course, art is what? It's subjective.
Subjective, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So now let's get into story progression. Just a quick recap for those of you guys who are just jumping in, but if you're watching this, I'm going to assume that you're somewhat caught up. Essentially, Ra's has been assassinated. We don't know by who yet. We know that it wasn't Deathstroke. He's been set up. So right now, Talia has put out a hit on Deathstroke and all of his family. Batman's trying to get to the bottom of it. Robin has just met up with his dad. They're going out having a nice father and son adventure. He is just filling his father in while I was just in a tournament where we fought to the death, etc., etc. I have a new girlfriend now, Flatline, blah, blah, blah. And that's pretty much where we're caught up to right now. Oh, yes, okay. And there's another thing. Deathstroke. So, Deathstroke and his son, okay? So, Deathstroke and his son respawn. That's a big thing. So, what we learned in the previous issue.
The previous issue of Deathstroke, yes.
Okay. What was that? Respawn is actually a clone of Damian Wayne. No, sorry, I'm sorry.
No, yes. He's a clone of Damian Wayne infused with the blood of Deathstroke so he can regenerate.
Yes.
And they basically used him as an organ farm so that when Damian was injured during training with the League of Shadows Assassin, I don't know the difference. There's a difference. I don't know the difference. It's not that important. So when he gets injured, they take Respawn's organs and use it to heal Damian.
Now, okay, I'm not really sure if they actually touched on this in any other Batman series, because I truly only read things that have to do with Robins.
They have not.
No? Okay.
No. It's only a Deathstroke thing in Deathstroke Incorporated, yeah.
Okay. So I'm not necessarily sure if Respawn has any Bruce Wayne DNA. I think that he might just have only Slade and Talia DNA.
I think so, yes.
Okay. All right. So that was like a big thing.
They're trying to set him up as a mirror to Damian, as the progeny of these two, except instead of Batman, it's Slade.
Okay. So the last time I was talking to Diego. I said, well, this is like a nice, fun story, not really anything spectacular, like not really anything that you really need to dive into depth about. Do I still feel that way? I sort of do.
You sort of do?
Okay.
Okay.
But what's your take on story progression so far?
I wasn't really interested. Full disclosure, we were supposed to film this last week, and I read all of Deathstroke Incorporated because I hadn't read it in preparation. I watched part 1 of this video series. I read the entire event, and then we didn't film, and I mostly forgot all of it. So I definitely thought it was definitely like, oh, it's kind of just a forgettable DC crossover to keep us waiting until the next Batman writer comes along in July or whatever. But then I was talking to someone this week, and they were like, hey, I really like how Shadow War is setting up Dark Crisis. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, like, Deathstroke is the king of the villains, which is like a big part of Dark Crisis. I was like, oh, okay. So I went back, I revisited through the issues, and looking at it through that lens, I still don't think it's like super important, but I see it from a different standpoint as one of the pillars leading up, or propping up, I should say, Dark Crisis. Because it's not about Batman, it's actually about Deathstroke. And if you read it, I actually think Batman isn't really Batman. He kind of gets blindsided throughout these issues.
Oh yeah, a couple times.
He shows up and Respawn is there, and he's like, "Who's that?"
He should know.
Yeah, they mentioned the Lazarus death tournament, and he's like, "What death tournament?"
He should know.
And it's like, you should know. You're Batman, right? You have satellites spying on the entire world, and you don't know where your son is. Bad Father Award, right?
See, and this is why I have Louise here right now.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
But Deathstroke is definitely, I think, the central figure of this story.
Okay. Before we continue on,
okay.
So before we continue on, let me ask you this question. I never really considered Deathstroke to be a villain. I think he's more of an anti-hero.
Yes.
Like, he's not like a Joker or anything.
Yeah. Did you read all of Deathstroke Incorporated?
Not
so
all
far?
of it. Not all of it. No.
Okay, so I think the whole thing, Deathstroke, Robin, and Batman, all written by Josh Williamson, who's going to be doing Dark Crisis. But I think the reason behind Deathstroke is because the whole question throughout the book is, why is he trying to be? He was working for Trust, this organization who's trying to be good or whatever, but secretly it was just another bad guy organization, of course.
Of course.
And then what Deathstroke decides to do is kill the leadership, and then he's going to do it, and he's going to do it right. So he's going to be the best bad guy organization, because the whole time he was like, well, sometimes I'm a good guy and sometimes I'm a bad guy, but what do I feel like doing? And well, he's the best of the best, so I guess he chose being the bad guy, while also being conflicted, of course, because his son is trying to be a good person, I guess. So I don't know where this is going to go. I think it's delving a lot into the Deathstroke family tree, which is really, really complicated.
Slade, Ravenger, Respawn, and I believe he has another son.
Yes, he has another son who is deceased.
Yeah.
Through circumstances.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, and that's pretty much the entire Slade family, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, other than his wife and his best friend that he's really close with, and yeah, but that's mostly it.
Isn't his wife dead?
Kind of.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't finish the last Deathstroke volume. It was really long. It's like 50 issues.
Okay. All right. Character development.
Okay.
Okay. So, I want to say, in regards to character development, you're not really getting much from Batman, Damian, Ravenger, Talia. They're all pretty much acting the way that they're supposed to act. except for Batman not knowing what's going on, being in the dark.
Yeah.
But primarily, what you're seeing is a lot of introspection with Slade. You know, about how he's thinking about like when, for example, when Slade brought Respawn to his hideout, and he says, you know, like he says, killing is like like there's nothing fun about killing someone, or like he says something to that extent, and then
That's rich, Slade,
yeah,
right?
right, and Respawn's like, so you never just kill for fun? You never have fun when you kill? He's like, oh, okay, you got me there.
Maybe a little, yeah.
Maybe a little. Okay, right?
Yeah.
So and I think that we're going to get more of that. Also, I think this is a 6-parter, right?
7, I believe. I think
7?
we have 2 more issues.
I don't think that, me personally, I don't think that Ross is actually dead. All right.
Oh, of course.
You know, like,
yeah. No.
so I think that we're going to get a little bit more character development regarding the Al Ghul family. I don't know how it's going to happen. That's just me predicting, okay? But I think that we're going to get some. But as for right now, it's primarily Slade. That has, for me, has the best character development.
I agree. I think the other Deathstroke being somebody who's trying to punish Slade, like that in itself links the 2 characters. Like that is the focal point of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slade is normally, you know, you like Deathstroke because Deathstroke is cool, and you watch them in the Teen Titans, and you play as him in the games, and
he was a really good character in the first Injustice.
Oh yes, he was.
Okay. Yeah, like I think that he was like my main. But anyway,
normally like you like him because it's Deathstroke. I don't think Deathstroke has to be written super well for you to like him. He kind of just has like a cool aura about him. But I like Deathstroke in this. Anytime he's fighting, he's running away a lot, which is really funny. But there's really good moments, like when he throws a grenade at a group of people, so that Batman and Robin will go save those people, and he can get away. You know, like it's classic Deathstroke. There's that bit. I want to say it's in Robin or in the last Batman issue where he's like, they're taking one of my tricks, ninjas with guns. Oh. Like, that was good, you know, like it's very campy, it's very fun. Yeah, Deathstroke for sure. We'll have to see who the doppelganger Deathstroke is, but he's definitely a central figure, I think, to the Slade family tree.
Do you think that it is anyone that we have already been introduced to?
Like ever? Yes.
Like ever? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think it is. I mean, I think it's one of 2 people.
Who?
I think it is either Ra's al Ghul or it is his son Grant working with Ra's al Ghul.
Ooh.
Because I think you're right. I don't think Ra's al Ghul is dead, and somebody who has such a deep vendetta for Slade, it has to be his son, right? Like that's what I'm thinking about, especially with such a focus on his younger son, his new son. You know, like it's definitely. I think it's setting up that it's Grant and he's back.
Okay, fair enough. So now that you've read all the issues up to this point, I know that you were a little skeptical about this run or this miniseries. Are you a little more invested?
I would say I'm a little more invested. I'm still skeptical. You know, it's hard to be. It's hard to just buy in when you know every single summer there's a big DC event and it's some crisis, and this is a setup to that. But it's okay. It's a decent read. I don't mind reading it. I've read much worse, you know. So yeah, I would say I'm in. I really thought I would just skip this and then just jump into Dark Crisis, but I think I'll keep on with it.
Fair enough.
And see where it ends.
Fair enough. You know, I don't really want to bash DC like this, but I mean, you know who are like the DC favorites. it's just obvious. Okay, you know. For those of you that didn't read Robbins, I suggest that you do. That was really good. This, I'm enjoying it thoroughly so far. I can't really think of any other DC title. Maybe Louise can, but I can't think of any other DC title that is really catching my attention.
Nightwing.
But you're a Nightwing fan, though.
No, Nightwing's just good.
It's just good?
Yeah, it's just good. Like everyone I know is reading Nightwing.
Really?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh.
I'll lend you a hardcover. It's good.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. What do you guys think? You think that I should read Nightwing? Would you like to have a review regarding Nightwing going forward? Please let us know in the comments below. And until then, that's all that we have to say for this video.
This is Luis.
This has been. Please comment, rate, and share, and subscribe. Until then, peace.
Follow us on TikTok.